We'll just let TrackMan reboot. So while we're here, a couple little function buttons that I want to introduce you to. So this screen here, yeah, is your main screen. We can actually split this up into two by clicking the 4 arrows here. So this is how you can end up with 2 different images. Yeah, so you can have that driving range type of image there, and then you have the side on how high did my ball go. It's also a good one if we're looking, you know, to attack greens and things like that, having a look at where did my ball land. Is it going to run out of room at the other end? Am I, you know, actually stopping the ball faster so I can actually start to hit the, you know, hit greens, so on and so forth. Then you have your aerial image as well, so you can actually see, you know, what the curvature was it curving right, was it curving left, that type of stuff there. Yep.
How far is your centre line there?
Yes.
Then you've got your broken lines.
Yes.
Where you're allowed to overtake.
Yes.
How far right or left are those lines from the centre?
That is a very good question. I've never thought of it.
Here
it is, sorry. Here. 5 metres. So this, so that's your centre line there. The first dotted line's 5 metres. Yeah. So they must be 10 metres apart, yeah.
10, 15, so to speak.
How good's that? I've never thought of it. I'll just hit and see what happens.
I like to know how far this by.
100%.
When I play, it's actually going to be off the fairway and trying to measure the width of the fairway.
Yeah, I love it.
To say, right, well, if I've gone 5 metres right,
yeah, exactly right, straight enough, yeah.
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 In actual fact, that's dead straight.
Yeah, exactly right, 100%.
Just so you can sort of put a picture.
Yep.
Overlay a picture in your mind, if you will.
I love it.
About where you're playing.
Yeah.
So like I played Caloundra,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
some of the holes there. And
love it.
What shots I'd played. Sometimes you need to go to the right,
yeah.
so I'll go to the left. Sometimes you need to go to the left, so I'll go. But I mean,
general, 100%. That's a great way of looking at it. So moving on, when it comes to changing these screens, so sometimes, you know, we turn up and it's not the screen that we want, you know, that type of stuff there. So simply these 4 squares, imagine that's the window option, yeah? This is now all of the different views that I can have in front of me. So I can have tracer, which is the range view, probably the most common view. Dispersion, which is just that on a more of an up and down type of motion. So as you start to hit balls, it'll then start to pop up, you know, where they are. So ultimately, as a golfer's concerned, we want to try and get this shotgun pattern tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Yep. To the point where US Tour, and this is going to tie in what you just mentioned, US Tour average is about 6% dispersion. So if they're aiming at a 100-metre target, they're going to be aiming somewhere between 6-metre circle of that. So they can be 96 metres, 106, 6 metres left, 6 metres right. So as a starting point, it's like even if you just pick a number, it's like I just want to go 20%. See how good I am at 20%. Sweet, I'm nailing that. Let's reduce that to 15%, 10%, so on and so forth. So we can start to create our own scales, if you may. So that's, you know, one view there. There's your side on. Video, we don't really use a lot of the video there. We are looking to set the bays up so you can start to look at, you know, how your swing technique is. Numbers, which is what you see on the bottom. A table, so again, if you start to hit, you know, a bunch of shots there, it'll start to create, you know, a consistency number and a average number, which I'll explain as we start to go on. But again, this is a really good way to kind of overview what your last 10 shots, you know, were, and start to analyze it over a chart rather than each individual shot. Impact, this is a great way to understand, you know, what is actually happening in the golf club, and this is the thing that has allowed golfers to learn this game so much faster than the traditional way. Yeah, traditional way was make sure your posture's right and your hips are turning and your weight transfer and things like that. But at the end of the day, this sport has been the same for the last 100 years. They didn't have any of that information back there. They just went, here's a golf club, and they had fewer golf clubs than what we do now. The technology is nowhere near as good, but at the end of the day, 100 years ago, they still had a club face, they had a golf ball, and they know that whatever happens here in the ball reacts. So this is a really good image. So this is probably the primary one when it comes to how to change the golf ball. Is 80% is controlled by where this thing is pointing at the point of impact. If you want to go higher, present more of that than that. If you want the ball to go left, present more of that than that. Yeah, you will change that golf ball like this if we change this. It doesn't matter how much you change the direction you swing. So if you want to go high and you're just doing this and this angle's not actually changing, you're not going to have any impact behind this golf ball. Yeah, but if I want this thing to go left, it doesn't matter how far left I swing, if this thing's pointing over there, it's not going left. And this is where, you know, it's probably a counterintuitive sport, where if I'm playing cricket, if I want to go left, I swing left. Or right. Where golf, it doesn't matter how far you swing left because of where this thing is pointing. So thinking it more like tennis is probably a good, you know, good example of, you know, thinking about where that racket face is. Depending on how much topspin, I would then change that racket face and just move the thing up, or set more loft and then move it down depending on what I want to do. So start thinking it through more. Spinning the golf ball is probably a better way of actually starting to look at what I want to do with that golf ball at the other end there. So that way, if I know what's causing my lefts and rights, the ups and downs is just that on reverse. Yeah, just that tennis example that I just mentioned there. Yep. So this is your backspin, topspin element. So how's that club traveling in relation to that ground? Is it moving down? Is it moving up? Am I creating more loft? Am I creating less loft? Yep. This one here is your directional one. Is the club face pointing right as I hit it? Is it pointing left as I hit it? Am I moving it right? Am I moving it left? The beautiful thing about technology is that straight line is always a straight line. How we believe and perceive it is always changing. We're humans. Sometimes we need to feel like we're swinging more that way to get straight. It's just a feel. It's the right answer. It's not, I need to feel it straight to hit it straight. So sometimes I need to feel that way to go straight, or that way, or opening the club face or closing the club face, or more loft. You know, these are the things that we as humans can and will have to be more open to, because the tangible thing of this, it is what it is. You know, that never changes.
So what screen's that again?
This one here is called Impact.